there's so many plants and I'm tired. So left on this table are 4 plants that I haven't talked about. So I'll briefly cover those. I will, however, talk about one of my Sansevieras. We know that scientific name from the internet. This one is another one that almost nearly completely died. As you can see, he has some situational stuff going on, but that's not spread or gotten worse. And there's new baby leaves in the center popping out and getting bigger every day. This one pretty much completely died. It was in my bedroom getting nearly 0 light. One day, like, the leaf pretty much like completely snapped back and my heart kind of broke. This is one of my first plants I've ever gotten. When the leaf, oh, my light is getting messed up. When one of the big leaves, it was actually behind this one, snapped off. I was really sad and I was about to throw it out, and I didn't, because when I read online, people were saying that, oh my gosh, there's another baby. There's another baby coming out. This is embarrassing. I almost gave up on it. The leaf like peeled off the back, and I actually just like tugged on the plant a little bit to see what was going on with the actual root systems of the plant. And it came out. There were no roots whatsoever. It was like a stub that was like rotted almost. And I refused to give up on it. So I repotted it in this pot, and I put it in my south-facing, really super sunny window. I think that I definitely overwatered it because the leaves were really squishy almost, that came off. What I do is I just kind of let it completely dry out between waterings. And I'm just really happy that he's still alive. This is a snake tongue. A snake tongue? A snake plant, also known as a mother-in-law's tongue. And I believe this is like the original non-variegated normal form of this. A Sansevieria. So this is a Sansevieria trifasciata. That's one. Whoop, that one right there. This guy is just a big giant version of this one. And that one has a ton of babies popping out the bottom. Like the longest piece is probably this one. This one is probably almost 3 feet tall. Probably, I don't know if I already gave it a number, but I would say that the mother-in-law tongue, snake plant, Sansevieria types of plants get an 8 in my book because they are extremely rewarding and they're really fun, and I was able to save this guy, which is nice. This is, oh my gosh, you guys know what this is. This is a rubber plant. I love this plant. I've wanted a rubber plant for a really long time, and I find that they are also kind of expensive, which is fine. I wanted it enough. I think this guy was probably like 2 leaves each plant involved shorter than it is now. So it's given me probably about, there's 3, it kind of looks like there's like 3 plants in this one pot. And it was like $15, but it was pretty small to be a $15 plant. I think this is like the dark version of it. It is a Ficus Elastica. This is super dark. Like if you look at this against the color of the other leaves in this lighting, it's a really, really dark green. It gets these like little red tubes that pop out the top. This little tube coming up is going to be a new leaf, but it turns pretty red and then it pops out. Here's one that's in like a stage of popping out. This guy right here. It's this weird like reddish greenish color, and then there's the little exoskeleton of the leaf. So it pops out of this little exoskeleton thing and the leaf unfurls, and then this little guy dries up and dies. So I highly recommend these to new plant parents or interested plant parents. They get really big though, so know that when you buy this plant, it's going to get pretty large pretty quickly. Although you can separate the plants that are in the one pot, be prepared that like it's gonna need space. that's the way that it goes. This is a Maranta plant, also known as a prayer plant. This one is got a name. It's got a name. Where is it? It is a Maranta LEUCONEURA. Doesn't even look real. See, these are when I first started getting plants, I thought I was gonna find like a million plants that would be like ridiculously spooky looking like this one, and I haven't found that many. But this one is really cool too, because the underneath of the leaves is this beautiful creepy purple red color. There are some that, like this specific branch, I think wasn't getting enough actual sunlight, so these are really green. Hopefully, as you can already see, the leaves are getting a little more color, like this one's attached to it too, and this one as well. They're getting a little more of that red color, and the leaves are getting a little bit bigger. This is a new leaf right here. I don't know if there's any rolled up babies coming out anywhere, but this is one that's going to be unfurling in the next couple of days. It'll probably be fully open. But this plant is called a prayer plant because during the day the leaves are, as you see now, pointing down, and then at night all the leaves will literally kind of pray and stand up on their stems. It's really cool. It's a really rewarding plant. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it's pretty much everyone that enters my home, this is like the second plant that they notice and care about. 10 in my book. I spray him literally twice a day, every day. They need a lot of moisture and a lot of humidity. I really like low planters like this. Basically in their natural habitat, they stay really low to the ground. And so when you give them like a shallow pot like this, they really do well. I also propagated a piece, so you can make more of them. And here's the baby that I cut. So see how all the leaves are down like this right now? At night, they're actually all gonna stand straight up. At the tippy top, that's a brand new leaf popping out. One there too. So 2 new baby leaves are going to be popping out of this guy. So sometimes what I do is if I see something that I need to clip off for the sake of the health of the plant, I'll be like, does it propagate? And this one does. I'm getting tired of my own voice. This is a struggle. Another baby, I'll grab this one, that survived the death of the plants was this Zizi plant. As you can see, there's like a big giant dead stub in the middle. Basically, this plant was one of the ones that we originally bought to bring plants back into the house, even though we were irresponsible and didn't know anything. This plant is definitely probably like a 7 for me. Reason being, he is so slow growing that I want to cry. It was pretty much down to sticks. It got super hit by some sort of pest. I think it was probably the spider mite epidemic. The leaves that he does have, there's like a lot of damage to them. I can't let him go because he's holding on. There's more leaves coming in all the time, just very slowly. Like this is a brand new shoot right here that just came up not too long ago. They are hardy. They have this root system that's just like a giant ball that like stores all their water, so they are super low maintenance. I think I love on it too much. It's definitely one that doesn't need me as much as I need it to need me. I think I gave it a 7. I'm sticking to that. I'm not in love with it, but it's one I'll never let it go. It'll go everywhere with me. That's the thing too, if like you want houseplants, just be prepared, like there's gonna be soil in your house. Accept it, it's a thing. This is an AUCUBA Japonica. This plant is now, when I got it, was one plant. It was a gift to me. Went from being one plant in a pot smaller than either of these to being all of this. And I've had it, I think, for almost a year. So this plant is a 10 for me. It is extremely rewarding. It is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. This plant needs a ton of sunlight. The second I moved it away from being directly in the sun, it had a panic attack and dropped some leaves at the bottom. I've heard the complaints about this plant is basically that it will drop older leaves if it's not getting the proper care. So I don't see any little babes, but as you can see on the top, like on this one, the top leaves, it literally just grows in. They're immediately the shape and style of the leaf of the plant right away. Like a teeny tiny teensy little beautiful dusty yellow gorgeous beautiful perfect angel that just pops out of the top, and I love it so much. These are kind of high maintenance, but really just they need a smash load of sunlight. And I'm actually gonna need to separate them again. I'm not pinching them, so I'm not cutting them anywhere to force them to branch. They're just branching on their own. I'm okay with that. It's less work for me. Almost done. This is very exciting. I'm exhausted and I would like a snack. This is one of my newest babes. This is a Philodendron Hope. These get gigantic. Obviously, this is a sign that he needs to be repotted. He has his little roots poking out the bottom. So, oh, so sad. I have to go shopping for a flower pot. So put upon. But he is very cool. There's little baby leaves on the inside. Most important and exciting thing about any leafy plant are baby leaves. Like, if you don't agree, then I don't understand why you're watching. I've experienced two types of leaves, the ones that come out like rolled and then expand, and then ones like this that literally just pop out and are like teensy tiny versions of the big mama leaves, and it is heartbreakingly cute. It's done really well for me, and I got it very recently. I think that he'll probably get super gigantic the second I give him a little bit more space to spread out. Like per rule, like a pot that's only like 1 inch around, maybe 2 inches, because he looks like super stuck in there, but like just a couple inches wider than this one. So I have a plant. I can't pick him up. I'm not doing it. This is a Dracaena plant, I believe it's called. He was in my bedroom when I didn't understand that plants needed humidity and would die if they're put directly in front of a heating unit. So I had to cut all the tips of his leaves off pretty much. But there's a bunch of new leaves coming in. A lot of these are new. Like this one is one of the OG leaves. They get super long. They can get really tall. The bottom, there's like a shorter stub that is going on, and it is producing new leaves, but the second head of it is like pretty dead. And so I hope he makes it, but he might not. I'll be okay. We're gonna pretend like it doesn't hurt. As you can see in the corner over there is my what is he called? It's a fiddle leaf fig tree. I'm gonna like show you him, and then I'm gonna put him back where he belongs, because they're so sensitive and such high maintenance that if you even touch them, look at them, or think about them, they will like die. I hate my fiddle leaf fig, but I do love it because it is so beautiful, and it is like it is the insta baddie of houseplants. I said that. So that's what she is. I still haven't taken it out of its original planter. I'm really sensitive about it. It does have some leaves that are struggling because they were rubbing against the wall. But I do have a little baby plant, a baby leaf coming in there, and as well as the second one right here. The very tip of that opening is getting green, which means that it's gonna also pop out another leaf. Like, we're struggling, and like we'll update it, but like we're gonna go put it back in its home and like pretend and apologize and pretend like everything's okay. Basically, you don't want to change their light. You want to like figure out what water makes them happy, and then just stick to that and never change it ever again. I would give that plant like a 5. Like, please don't die, but like also if you die, like, you know how the way the system works. I have this little baddie. It has, we'll give it away what kind of plant it is by showing you the little flower. And I don't like plants with flowers. I don't really care about flowers. I'm not a flower girl. It's just like not, they're tattooed all over my body, and they're pretty and I appreciate them, but I'm not like gonna use my plant app or my book to figure out what kind of plant something is by what flower it's giving. I'm just not gonna do it. This is, what is it called? Peace lily. I didn't look yet. It's a giant peace lily, but the actual name of it, I wrote large peace lily has a scientific name that starts with an S. I nailed it. It's called, oh, this is helping my lighting. What if we just do the rest of the video like that? It's called a Spathiphyllum Wallisiei. Yeah, this guy loves water. I will put him in a less breathable container. In his pot that I got him from, and it's been like 4 or 5 months. His tips are a little bit brown because literally where he lives is directly above the base heater. Right near him is also my humidifier. Immediately gets humidity, but also gets really dry because the heater's right there. So we're playing like plant relay, trying our hardest. This is another one that just pops out the teeny tiny versions of like the big papa leaves. But otherwise, the leaves are in pretty good condition. It's pretty hardy. They're really beautiful, the leaves. Just watered it today. That's why it's like a little bit sad and a little bit droopy. What happens is they will let you know by drooping when they need water, which is great. We love when our plants communicate with us in that way. So I just try and keep it moist all of the time, but not sitting in water. So this guy is also going to get repotted soon because this is really ugly as well, and it's not my favorite look. So we're going to give it a better look. It's big. It's really big. So just be prepared. Like, don't buy a plant that's like the size of your entire apartment. And well, I mean, that's kind of like what I'm trying to create. But for you personally, if you don't want a jungle, don't buy a gigantic jungle plant. This guy is a teddy bear plant. In his little vines, he actually is fuzzy and furry. There's little hairs. He's a little hairy dude. I have a lot of things that I love about this plant. He's kind of a little finicky. He's absolutely beautiful, and some of the older leaves you can see it's like purple behind. He does get a little bit leggy, kind of like a wandering Jew. It is a type of wandering Jew plant. And I've never seen them available. Like, this is another kind of like spooky plant that I came across that I really like. I originally put him directly in the window and it was too much sun. And I think that I finally found, like, these leaves are so fuzzy. I think I finally found a good place for it because it's giving me new growth, and some of the leaves that were coming out green are kind of getting that like purple backing to them. Overall, it's like a really fun plant. I like it. It was harder to find. I have not seen any since. There were 2 and I wish that I had actually bought both of them. It's given me a ton of new growth. It's just very, very slow growing. We'll say the peace lily would be like a 7 for me. And then we'll say the teddy bear plant, because it's kind of hard to care for and a little bit hard to find, is probably like a 6 for me. So my absolute pride and joy, my prized baby, the plant that everybody freaking has, but I'm still really proud of mine, is my Monstera. It starts like this and goes all the way to over here. Leaves are pretty big. Like, this is it near my face. You don't know how big my face is, but I think a normal human size face. But it's like literally bigger than a human face. Like, this actual little spine of the leaf is probably about 10 inches. Newest leaf on it is this guy right here. I don't have any leaves with the actual holes in them yet, but I feel like those will be coming up. I mist this guy all of the time because it is a tropical plant and it does need a lot of humidity. This, if you're going to get a plant, find a Monstera Deliciosa and keep it and cherish it forever. It's an angel. It will give you new leaves. You'll be so grateful. The first time it gave me a new leaf, I shed tears. Am I embarrassed? No. Am I proud? Yes. These can be a little bit expensive. They're getting more popular, so like grocery stores are starting to get them and stuff. So basically they're easier to find now. They're less expensive. This, oh, and by the way, it started a plant that was like probably the size of this rubber tree, and just the first 6 months that I had it, it just gave me like 1 billion leaves. It just was like, I love you, I'm happy, thank you for the sun, thank you for the water, here are all the leaves, and it just became gigantic, and I'm really appreciative of it, and I love it so much. That's all my plants, guys. Yeah, I had to just recap my plants, even though that was a giant recap. My least favorite are my succulents, because I think they're a giant lie, and stop telling people that they're easy to take care of, because they are not. My middle ground are my peperomias, because I still love them, but they are too slow growing for my taste. And my absolute favorite plant is my Monstera Deliciosa, said every single plant person on the internet. And I think people are starting to like hate them like openly now because they're so popular, but don't hate it just because it's popular. I want everyone in the world to have plants. A tidbit about who you become once you get houseplants. What happens is when you're in a nursery where there's a bunch of plants, you end up shouting facts about plants, trying to show off your knowledge. Yeah, so I'm annoying. Don't take me in public, because what I do is I yell out the name of every plant I am familiar with and try and guess what they are before I see the tag. I also try and make friends with people that are at any kind of nursery, or like even in the middle of Lowe's. People sense it coming, so they physically run away from me as fast as possible. It's great, so you're not going to make friends that way. I am now following a bunch of plant groups on Facebook. That's nice. I need to repot these for spring, so I'll probably do like a plant repotting video where I actually get the correct medium that I'm supposed to plant my plants in. I'm just like covered in like water and dirt. Now guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. More plant videos will come in the future. Please attack me in the comments. That is absolutely fine. I am open to critiques and or corrections, and I will do like a corrections corner in my next video with any information that I need to go over. Let me know if you have any other video requests, anything to do with my plants, or if you want more specific information about any of these plants. I will list all of their scientific names below, and hopefully I listed the general information somewhere on the screen for you guys to be able to follow. And that is really all I have for you guys today. Suddenly think that you need to save everybody with houseplants. Start buying everybody houseplants because you think they want that responsibility and they just don't know it yet. But please, as a personal reminder, do not buy a person a plant if they don't want one, because then it's going to die and they're going to feel guilty because they feel like they've killed a piece of you. So I say that, I brought a plant to my boyfriend's house. He'll be fine. It's gonna die, isn't it?